That's right, last season on my road to Master Rank, I climbed to Master Rank with an 88.8% win rate, and I didn't do it how you might expect. I wasn't playing crazy carry Pokemon, I wasn't, using the most overpowered thing in the game. Instead, I was using the most underutilized thing in the game, supporting. What do I mean by that? I was playing supporters and defenders with EXP share, buddy barrier, focus band, resonant guard, curse items. I was focused on supporting my team entirely and focused almost none at all on carrying. I was defending and I was supporting, and it worked. And it's not just that, there was a lot more to it. Did I just get lucky, or did I happen to make luck happen for me? You can watch the entire series on my channel if you would like. I'll have a playlist link in the description. However, this is the story of how it all went down so you can understand why I won so much. First, I have to talk to you about the mental game involved in this. Every time I do a Road to Masters, I feel like I have a great reset mentally. It's almost like a palate cleanser for Pokemon Unite. I kind of remember some of the things I love about it. I'm not as stressed about whatever your crazy solo queue allies are doing. And in fact, this one, I promised myself that I would stay positive and support my team no matter what as best I could. I knew it was going to be hard. I've done Comfey to Masters, and that was... well, that was something that we don't talk about, but this was going to be different. This was going to be me doing everything I could to make my team win, to make my team feel like rock stars, and I had to be mentally prepared for that. And I have to tell you, I truly was. I feel like I was in a different mental state in this series than I was playing normal games. And if you can get in that headspace, a headspace that says, I'm gonna do everything I can to support my team, I think you will change the way you are playing and performing in this game. The next thing I have to talk about is the item game. I mentioned it a little earlier, but I spent all of my time focused on not making my Pokemon into the carry version of their Pokemon, which you obviously can do. You could play Trevenant as a massive carry. I instead focused on my Sableye, Hoopa, Trevenant, Slowbro, all of them supporting the team as much as possible, doing everything I could to make sure that my allies could succeed rather than doing everything I could to make sure that I get the most KOs in the match. And I honestly do think it was a huge difference. First of all, if you're playing supporter or defender, I'm begging you, EXP share, it is God's gift to Pokemon Unite. Or I guess it's Timmy's gift. And you know what? They don't give us a lot of gifts, so take what you can get. I also have to say, Buddy Barrier is insanely underrated. People don't run it anymore, but it changes fights in a massive way. Your allies don't know what happened, but you will know what happened. And then of course there are other things like curse items, insanely underappreciated. I think it's because we don't have a way inside the game inside Pokemon Unite, we got it in there, to let players know exactly how much they've affected the match. But I think if we did, people would run curse items way more. And then of course things like Resonant Guard, incredible for your allies early. The third thing I focused on was coordination. Not only was I working on calling out what I was doing throughout the match through quick chats, partway through the series, I threw the headset on and I started actually communicating with my team. Now, let me be very clear about this. When I say communicating with my team, I'm not yelling at them because they're doing things wrong or cussing at them because they didn't show up to a certain objective or complaining that someone's not doing something. No, I am encouraging them. I'm letting them know what I'm doing, and I'm letting them know what we can do as a team to win the match. And when things go well, I'm also popping off for them. And I know that's dumb, but when one of your allies gets a triple KO and it was pretty awesome, celebrating them changes the team morale. You see enemy teams, like they get upset, you can see they're tilted, they're trying to surrender, and my team is vibing. Now, you will get banned on voice comms pretty easily in this game, so you gotta be really careful. You gotta treat everyone with kid gloves, but at the same time, treat everyone well, and it usually goes pretty well. Next is I spent every match focused on the win condition. That's number 4. Focus on the win, okay? And a lot of that was making sure that my allies were healthy and able to fight and able to win the match. Oftentimes I would call that we should go for Ray, or I would say that we need to back off and wait for me. I've got a Unite move coming, I can help you. I think things like this are really important. Focusing on the win condition doesn't just mean focusing on what's happening at Rayquaza. It also means focusing on what's going on throughout the match that will put you in position to win Rayquaza. Help your allies get their Unite moves when they use them too late in the match, which will inevitably happen. We've all done it. Your allies will do it. Help them charge your knight back up. Tell your team to pull back for a second if your team isn't ready to fight, or support the team. Even sometimes throughout this series, I supported my team on pushes that I didn't really love, but I knew it would be better for the team and better for team morale if I was there and helping rather than just somewhere else farming. Also, having EXP share helps with this a lot because you're not as worried about running around the map getting as much farm as you can. You're just focused on supporting your allies and making your way to objectives. The fifth thing I did was really start to get bought in and love what I was doing. Like, you start something like this, right? And it's my road to masters. I want to do a cool, fun thing every time. I want to do something new, something interesting, something that you might want to click on, something that you might want to share with a friend. Like, of course, those are ideas I'm thinking of. And then I'm also thinking, how can I actually live this for this series so that one series feels different from another? So not every single one is just, I'm using the best all-rounder right now and we're heading up to masters. I had to really get myself to a place where I was trying to support and recognizing that if I did support as best I could help my team carry their way to victory. I could make them the carry that maybe I think I should be in a match, right? And the more I did it, the more I started to vibe with it, the more I enjoyed it, and the more I fully became immersed in it. I fully bought into it, and it was going so well, even on the matches we were losing, that I felt like it was almost like I unlocked another level of play for a little while, right? Like, it's hard to be at peak performance all the time, but I felt like I was at peak supporter defender performance throughout this entirety of my Road to Master series. Every moment that came up, I was looking to find what I could do to help my team. How could I pull the enemies off them? How could I save them in a bad situation? Yeah, they dove. Yeah, they sold the match. They made a big mistake. But what can I do to support it? What can I do to hopefully find a way to keep us in this game? And once I was in that mindset, I'll tell you, it felt like it was hard to lose. And then finally, I have to be honest, I think I play supports and defenders quite well because I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what's going on with this role. And I think if they did, they would enjoy it a lot more. It's true that you're not going to get the penta. You are not the one who gets the penta KO. You don't get to use the crazy Gyarados Unite move and knock up 4 enemies at once, hit them with a Dragon Breath, and all of a sudden it's on and it's going crazy. But you get to make those moments happen. You get to win with your team, and you are the one subtly pulling the strings in a match. You are the one that is making sure that any mistake or any overextension is actually not punished as hard as it could be. You're the one making sure that Decidueye can actually get off their Spirit Shackle because you are pushing the Zoroark off of them. You need to understand how your role works in this game. As a supporter, I would imagine, like, if we could think of like a sort of a cone of influence for these roles, supporters are kind of in the mix with your team, depending on what support they are. I'm kind of talking about a healing support right now. You're around your team and you're making sure that you have the option to save or protect one of your carries oftentimes, and then you are healing your front line. Your front line, these are your defenders. You're making sure as a defender that you're giving your team vision. One of the most important things is vision. Just like Wanda Maximoff, you need to spend all of your time focused on vision for your team, and then also not putting yourself so far forward that your team can't take advantage of that. We've all had the slow bro run away from the team and slow beam someone a mile away. Well, that's not really going to help. And then we've also had defenders play behind their allies. That is one of the worst things you can possibly do. You've got your Delphox in front of you. They just hit it with some spells and all of a sudden it goes down. You need to be in front of your team, but also keeping this zone of influence where you're close enough so that when the enemy does decide to dive in, you can punish them. You turn around, you hit them with the wood hammer, you pull them off with the horn leech, you shut them down with a slow beam, you use whatever Mamoswine build you're using. You grab them with an Ice Fang and you reposition the enemy. So you're in front, you're giving your team vision so your mages and auto attackers can deal some really good damage, and so your allies know where everyone is. And then if you see the enemy start to peel in, start to dive on your team, you use your moves to disrupt them. If you start to play defenders like defenders, and you start to play supporters like supporters, I'm not saying you're going to climb to master rank with a 90% win rate. I thought I had a great climb to master rank. I thought I played exceptionally well, and of course we had some fortunate matches. That is going to happen. But if you take some of these principles into your games, it can change the way you play and change the way you win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you, and I'll see you all next time. We did it.